Today let us discuss something more about epoxide. We already discussed what is an epoxide in the last class, and we know that it is a three-membered cyclic ether. And today we are discussing what all are the preparations of epoxides and also the chemical properties of epoxide. Okay, anyway, first of all, we can see what some common name in IUPAC name or how the nomenclature of epoxide is given. So this is CH2, CH2O, that is the simplest epoxide, that is ethylene oxide. In IUPAC it is given name as ethene oxide or epoxy ethene. Another is CH3COCCH3. That means a butylene oxide, or it is IUPAC it is named as 2,3-butylene oxide or 2,3-epoxy butane. And this is cyclohexene oxide, or otherwise called the cyclohexene oxide or 1,2-epoxy cyclohexane. Next we are entering into the preparation of epoxide. The first preparation is alkene epoxidation. If an alkene is treated with per acids such that per benzoic acid and per acetic acid, you will get an epoxide. That is, addition of an oxygen at the double bond will takes place. Here you can see an example. Consider an alkene, that means CH3, CH2 double bond CH2 plus per benzoic acid, and the double bond will breaks and the oxygen will enter into that double bond, and you are getting in the propene oxide, that is the CH3 CHO CH2 plus benzoic acid. Another example is CH3 CH double bond CH3, that is an alkene treated with per acetic acid, that is the CH3COOOH, and we are getting the product as an epoxide, that is a 2,3-butene dioxide CH3CHO CH3 plus CH3COOH, that is the acetic acid. Again, this is another compound when treated with again the perbenzoic acid. What will happen? 1,2-epoxy 3-methyl cyclopentene is formed. This is 1,2-epoxy. Then here this is a third. At the third position methyl group is attached. So that is a 3-methyl cyclopentene plus C6H5COH. This is also given here. This double bond is broken, and in the presence of benzoic acid the double bond is broken and an epoxide is formed there, or oxygen atom is attached there. That is a cyclohexene oxide. Anyway, in the general form I can write an equation as like this. When an alkene, a common alkene, this is an alkene, if it is treated with a peroxy acid RCOOOH, and this oxygen will enter into this double bond, that is the double bond is broken and the oxygen is linked to that double bond, and an epoxide is formed, a ring is formed, and acid is taken as another product RCOOH, and this oxygen is connected to here, that is the epoxide. Peroxy acids are used to convert alkenes to epoxide. Most commonly used peroxy acid is metachloroperoxybenzoic acid, or otherwise abbreviated as MCPBA, that is a metachloroperoxybenzoic acid. The reaction is carried out in an aprotic acid to prevent the opening of the epoxide. The next method of the preparation is from halohydrates. What is an halohydrates? CH2 double bond CH2 plus HOCl, that is a hypochlorous acid. HOCl is the hypochlorous acid, and the double bond will break, and what is the product formed? That is the CH2 OH is getting attached here, and the Cl is attached to another carbon, that is CH2 or OH CH2Cl, that is the ethylene chlorohydrin. And if you added an alcohol in the presence of an alcoholic KOH, this ethylene chlorohydrin is converted into an epoxide, that is the ethylene oxide, and HCl is a product. And the other one is a cyclohexene. If cyclohexene is treated with a hypochlorous acid in the presence of Cl2 and H2O, the HOCl, the double bond is getting broken, and what is formed? The 2-chloro 2-cyclohexanol is formed. In the presence of alcoholic KOH, again the cyclohexene oxide, that means epoxide, is formed with the liberation of HCl. Okay, so these two are the important methods of the preparation of epoxide. Next, I am going to discuss what all are the chemical reactions that can takes place to the epoxide. So this is the structure of an epoxide. The carbons in an epoxide groups are very reactive electrophiles due to large part to the fact that substantial ring strain is relieved when the ring opens up to the nucleophilic atom. Anyway, we know that the carbon that is in an epoxide is a very reactive electrophile, and when the ring opens up to nucleophilic attack, there is a large part to fact the substantial ring strain will be formed. In order to relieve that ring strain, then ring opens up to nucleophilic attack. Then first one is, the first chemical reaction is the acid catalyzed ring opening. Here this is a very simple reaction. In the presence of an acid, the epoxide or the ring is getting opening. So this is a ethylene oxide, and in the presence of an acid and water, the OH minus is attached to one carbon, and the OH is getting attached with the other carbon along with the oxygen. So the product will be glycol, that means CH2OH CH2OH. The bond will break here, and the product will be glycol. A general reaction as shown here, that is it is a 3-membered ring, high energy ring, that is a ring strain will formed here. So in order to give up that, the nucleophile will attach to this carbon, and the bond will break here, and it is getting shifted to here, and again it is shifted to here. So the product will be C RR any nucleophile that can be attached to an RR OH. The ring has been opened here, and the energy is released. Some other examples are also given here. CH2CH2O plus C2H5OH minus in the presence of an acid. Here we will get the product as CH2O C2H5 CH2OH. Again, an epoxide when treated with HBr, the product will be CH2OH CH2Br. And other is CH2CH2O plus HCN, CH2OH plus CH2OH and CH2CN. Again, if an epoxide is treated with CH3COON, what will be the product? The product will be CH2OOC CH3 CH2OH. Okay. The next is base catalyzed ring opening. Ring opening is a major reaction to epoxide. It can take place in the presence of an acid, and it can also take place in the presence of base. So that is the base catalyzed ring opening. So base ring opening is shown here, CCH3CH3OCH2 in the presence of NaOOCH3. Here the attached nucleophile is OCH3 here, and the OH is attached. OH is formed here. That is the OH is attached here, and the OCH3 is nucleophile is attached here. So this is the product. So here examples are shown like this. Here the bond is broken, and OH is attached to the CH2, and again the O along with the C2H5. So the product will be like this, CH2OH CH2OC2H5. Here the bond will break here, and CH2 in the presence of H2 and OH minus, what will be the product? So it is a CH2OH and CH2OH. Again, if the NH3 is getting reacted, the product will be CH2OH and CH2NH2. Anyway, if it is if the reaction is taking place in the presence of reduction, it takes place in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride, that is the LiAlH4. You know that the two important reducing agents, that means the lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride. So LiAlH4 is the lithium aluminum hydride. You are getting the product as CH2OH and the CH, that is ethanol is formed, CH3 CH2OH. The next is cleavage of unsymmetrical epoxides. If an unsymmetrical epoxide is undergoing reaction with an example CH3OH, then it is, you should be note that the nucleophile will attach on the carbon will be different if the reaction is taking place in acidic medium or it is taking place in basic medium. If the reaction is taking place in, if an unsymmetric epoxide is taken and a nucleophile is attacking in the presence of an acid medium, then the nucleophile will attach to the carbon which is more substituted. And if the reaction is taking place in the basic medium, then any nucleophile or that nucleophile will attach at the carbon which is less substituted. Okay, that you can see here. This is an unsymmetrical epoxide that I am taken. CH3, CH3CO, CH2. So this is an unsymmetrical epoxide. So this is CH2 here. This is a C. Here the C is substituted, and here the C is substituted with the 2CH3 group. So this carbon is more substituted. So in unsymmetrical epoxide, the nucleophile attacks the more substituted carbon in acidic medium, but attacks the less substituted carbon in basic medium. So here the reaction is in the presence of an acidic medium. So the nucleophile, that means the CH3O minus, will attack at the more substituted carbon. Oh, this is a more substituted carbon. So the answer will be like this: CH3, CH3O, CH3, CH2OH. Okay. If the reaction is taking place in the presence of an basic medium, then what will happen? The nucleophile will attach on the less substituted carbon. That means a CH3, CH3OH and CH2OCH3. So these are the important chemical reactions that takes place in the epoxides. What all are they? They are a ring opening, which is a very important reaction. It takes place in the acid catalyzed, and the other is the base catalyzed ring opening, and the next is the cleavage of the unsymmetrical epoxide. Next we are explaining a very important section, that is the crown ethers, which is having a very high application. What is a crown ethers? The name itself indicates what it is. It is of having a crown structure. Crown ethers are cyclic chemical compound that consist of a ring containing several ether groups. Okay, then we can see the structure of the crown ether, and it is a macrocyclic polyether. So it is a cyclic polyether, not only the simple cyclic, it is a macrocyclic, not the macro means larger cyclic polyethers, or otherwise called the cyclic polyethers. And the term crown refers, definitely that term crown refers to the, that means it resembles between the structure of a crown ether bound to a cation and the crown sitting on the person's head. It means the crown is attached to a cation, similar in such a way that the crown is sitting on a person's head. The large ring compounds containing, the crown ethers are the large ring compounds containing more than 12 carbon and with several ethereal oxygen. Means ethereal oxygen means oxygen is connected with the carbon, or they are like this, oxygen is in between the other carbons. Okay, so this is a 12 crown 4. This is our crown ether 12 crown 4, and this is a structure of 15 crown 5. So what does this 4 indicates? The 4 indicates the number of oxygen atoms in it. and the 12 indicates the total number of atoms. So total number of carbon means total numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and out of that 4 is the oxygen. So 15 crown 5. So you can see 5 oxygen here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is also represented like this, 15 crown 5 and 12 crown 4. So this is a structure of 18 crown 6. Here you can see something. This is a cation which is connected with this 18 crown 6. You just note that how the names is given to crown ether. Crown ether is named in such a way that it is a polymer of ethylene glycol. It means OCH2CH2 n times. The naming is given like this, X crown Y. Like here you can see 18 crown 6. What the 18 and 6 represents? The 18 means that is X. X means the number of atoms in ring. How much number of atom is seen in that ring? That total number is given as the X. Here 18 number of atom is seen here, so it is 18 here. If 15 is here, then we can understand. It is already understood that crown ether consisting of such time means 15 atoms, and out of that 6 numbers of here 18 crown 6 means 18 number of atoms, and out of that 6 is oxygen atom. Y is the number of oxygen atom. This is how all the crown ethers is named. Next, we are going to the properties and application of crown ether. Crown ether is a special type of compound which having several properties. Out of that, the crown ethers are important. First is, they are important for the ability to solvate cations strongly. Crown ethers has the ability, or it has a property to solvate the cations. Certain crown ethers solvate a particular type of cations. The 6 oxygen in the 18 crown 6. We know that if the name is given 18 crown 6, it is understood that it consisting of an 18 atoms, and out of that 6 atoms are oxygen, are ideally situated to solvate a potassium cation just as water molecule would normally do. The interior of the complex contains the oxygen solvated cation, but exterior has hydrocarbon properties. As a result, the complex ion is soluble in a non-polar solvent. You just look here, 18 crown 6, here you can see the 18 crown 6. This 18, we know that the 18 crown 6 has some vacant place inside with a particular diameter. So this particular space is specific, it is specific for certain cations. 18 crown 6 is specific for the potassium cation, and the 18 crown 6 will take the potassium cation, it solvate it. Okay, we know that the interior of the complex, the interior of the complex containing the oxygen solvated cation. This is oxygen solvated cation, that means a potassium. But the exterior, this is the exterior part, that is this crown part is the exterior part, has a hydrocarbon properties, and as a result of this, the complexed ion, that means the ions that is complexed inside the crown ether is soluble in non-polar solvents or organic solvents also. So this is the property of first property of the crown ether, that means it solvates, that is it solvates cations strongly. So certain crown ethers solvate certain particular type of cations. The 18 crown 6 solvates only the potassium. Okay. The next property is, the unique property of crown ether is that its size of their internal cavities. There are different types of crown ethers, but all the crown ethers doesn't have the same size in the internal cavities. So depending upon their internal cavities, the crown ethers can trap the cations. The 18 crown 6 is in such a way that it is possible, or it is in a positive condition to trap the K plus ion, or its internal cavity is such that its size is equal to, or its size is similar to the size of the potassium ion. That is why the potassium ion is getting trapped with the 18 crown 6. A crown ether cation complex, that means a crown ether in which the cation is with connected with that crown ether complex is called the host guest complex. So I can see that this is also a host guest complex where crown ether is in connected with the potassium. Here the crown ether is the host and the cation which is getting connected with that crown ether is the guest. So that is the host guest complex, and that complex is also called the inclusion compounds. The ability of a host molecule to bind the specific guest is called the molecular recognition. It is confirmed that all the crown ether is not able to bind all the guest. That means all the host molecule cannot bind with all the guest. A particular host can only bind with a particular guest. Therefore, we can say that it is called a molecular recognition. It has been implied that the ability of these host molecule to bind guest is often very specific. That is why 18 crown 6 is specific to bind the K+, often linked to the hydrogen bonding ability of the host, enabling the host to pull just one molecule or ion out of the mixture. That this is called the molecular recognition. You don't get worried. You just only think that a host molecule will be in a specific way that it can bind only to a specific guest. Okay, so that specificity or that ability of the host molecule to bind with specific guest is called the molecular recognition, and that is the second property. Then third one is each crown can bind ions whose size is comparable with the size of cavity. That I have already explained you. That means each crown can bind with a particular cation in such a way that the internal cavities is similar to the size of that of cation. Here this is a 12 crown 4. The 12 crown 4 inside its size is 1.2 to 1.5 angstrom, and I think it's that size is good for the lithium to bind. So the lithium cation will bind to 12 crown 4. That means it solvates, the 12 crown 4 solvates the lithium. In the same way, the 15 crown 5 solvates the sodium cation, and here the size internal cavity is 1.7 to 2.2 angstrom, and that size is very good for the sodium ion to trap on or sodium ion to bind it. And the for 18 crown 6, we already discussed what is 18 crown 6 is getting binds to the potassium, having the internal size of the crown ether is 2.6 to 3.2 angstrom. Here also given some other diagrams of the 12 crown 4, which is always the lithium cation, and 15 crown 5 is always the sodium cation. Anyway, so these are the three important points of the crown ethers, and also I am included many other points also, and just saying the heading as a utility of crown ethers. That means the importance of crown ethers itself. Utility of crown ethers in separation of mixtures of cations. The high degree of selectivity enables the crown compounds to identify the guest atom in solution and wrap around it. Okay, using the crown ether, we can separate certain cations from the solutions. Okay, that means if we are taking a crown ether, that means 15 crown 5, it get trapped, it get bind with or that host is getting bind with the guest, a particular guest, that means Na plus. Therefore, we can separate that cation. Okay, the next one is crown ethers are widely used in organic synthesis, and the next application is crown ethers are useful in phase transfer catalysis, and other as crown ethers are more frequently used in the complex cation, amines, phenols, etc. And other than crown ether is used in the resolution of a racemic mixture. I have given another diagrams of crown 12 crown 4, which can connected with the lithium, which is in bind with the lithium. Here the lithium cyanide, and lithium is binds to here. That means this is the host guest relation. 15 crown 5 with Na plus will trapped or bind with the 15 crown 5, and that is the host-guest relation. Here also the host-guest relation. The 88 ground 6 can bind with the potassium, which is seen in the potassium permanganate. Next is the preparation of ethers. You just go through the structure. Is treated with this compound is treated with a triethylene glycol, and we are getting then 18 crown 6. Here I didn't specify the names of this compound, just only you to understand how they are prepared. You just go through the diagrams. Okay, I think it's clear for you. This we completed the section, the epoxides.